Hey y'all, welcome to the Double Meal Dad Kitchen. Well, if you are watching this video and you haven't seen part one, which is the steak part of this, you might be a little lost. So I'll put the link for the steak video at the front of this, but effectively what we did is we went through and we cooked up a couple ribeye steaks. They were in even a prior video to that when we showed you how to buy more of the stuff that's on sale. So here's my ribeye steaks. Mom and I just got finished having dinner. And remember, if you saw the previous video, I used a big piece of aluminum to cover the steak because I wanted that steak to rest. So now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to use that aluminum foil that I put on top of the steak. I didn't throw it away because I want to try to recycle this a little bit. Right? And I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. So here's what we did, folks. The concept of the Double Meal Dad is how do I stretch my dollar farther by buying more of the stuff that's on sale and then using it in different ways so I can effectively get 2 meals in one. So ribeyes happen to have a really good price at our local H-E-B, and instead of buying one ribeye, which my wife and I typically split, I bought 2, and I was going to fire up the grill anyway. So I fired up the grill and I cooked both ribeyes, and you saw the one whole ribeye was still there. Well, now we sent the kids off to bed, or one of the spouses is watching the baby, or whatever's going on in your house, and you've got 5 extra minutes. Let's prepare for tomorrow's meal, so when we get home from work tomorrow, we don't have a lot of work to do. And what we're going to do is we're just going to start by cutting up an onion. Now, if you're new to the Double Meal Dad, we have a little trick that we use with our onions and our peppers and all this good skin that we have here that we peel off. A lot of times what people do is they throw out the skins and all of this. We on the Double Meal Dad do not do that because that makes great broth. So we have our 4 soup bag, which we keep in our freezer, and we just take all those good bits that we can't eat, but we can definitely use for broth, and we throw them in our 4 soup bag, and then we just go ahead and we throw that right back in the freezer. I've got another piece there, I'm going to throw that in there. And that makes delicious broth, which we're going to use in our recipe for tomorrow. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut up my onion here. Just going to go ahead and dice that up real quick. And if you notice that this knife is working pretty good, it's because, as we showed you in the prior episode, we just got this back from the knife sharpener. So, this is really the whole point of having a sharp knife. Makes it much easier to cut things, and it really protects us so that we don't get hurt in doing that. So, real quick, I just cut up an onion. What I'm going to do, I'm going to cut up my mushrooms, I'm going to cut up my onion, I'm going to put it in a little plastic container. When we get up tomorrow morning, I'm going to grab my crock pot, I'm going to throw all this in. I've got my vegetable broth that I made from a prior show in the refrigerator. I'm going to put that all together. We're going to fire this up, and then we're going to go off to work. And when we go off to work, when we come back, our meal will be basically ready. We're going to throw a couple more things together and we'll be ready to go. Now, for those of you who don't like to leave your crock pot on during the day while you're at work, the other option is we can finish this all tonight, show you how to put it together, plug in your crock pot, go to sleep. And the other benefit to that is your house smells wonderful while you're sleeping. You can put it together in the evening. When you get up in the morning and you go get your coffee in the morning, go ahead and pull that, shut the crock pot off, transfer that into some container that you can put in the refrigerator and you can let cool while you're at work. And then all you got to do when you come home at night is heat it up and put it all together. You can do it that way as well. Okay? So, options really up to you. I'm going to go ahead and do it in the morning because I don't mind leaving my crock pot on during the day and cooking it up. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Alright? When we come back tomorrow morning, we'll put it all together. And then we're going to have a little bit of steak goulash together. So, see y'all later. Take care.
Well, good morning, y'all. Okay, we're in part 2 of the Double Meal Dad Steak and Goulash. So, if you remember, last night, it could be 2 nights later, it's up to you and how you want to do this. We made our ribeye steaks. You know, some of you went ahead and put it overnight, let it cook all day. I'm getting ready to go to work. I got up, I just got my coffee, and now I'm pulling those beautiful ribeye steaks out of the refrigerator, and I'm just going ahead and I'm putting them back into this pot here. And that's it, I got it in my crock pot. So I'm going to go ahead and just add a little bit of spices. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of paprika. This can be smoked paprika if you have it, or it can be the hot, spicy kind of paprika. About a teaspoon and a half in there. And then I'm going to go ahead and add some of that Weber Chicago steak seasoning. Now remember, the steak, I've put some on the steak, so I already put some of this flavor on there. If you also remember what I did in preparation last night, the whole goal here is, it's early in the morning, I gotta go take a shower, I gotta get ready for work. So now what I'm trying to do is just make my morning easy. So I already cut up all the mushrooms and onions. We'll go ahead and put that in there. That'll cook down with this, make it really easy. That cleaned out. So now all I gotta do is throw this in the dishwasher. And if you remember in our one episode, we made that vegetable broth. So I'm just going to go ahead and start ladling cups of vegetable broth right on top. My ladle's probably about a half a cup. And really the goal here is to just cover all of that beautiful mushroom and onion and steak, so this doesn't dry out while we're at work. So I'm just go ahead and ladle that right on top and keep track of where I'm at there as far as number of cups that I put in there. So that's it. I'm good to go. Go ahead and cover this. Now the beauty is, we get home, we're just going to finish this off with a couple. I'm going to go ahead and put this on low for 10 hours. Now I can go to work. We're going to throw a couple of packets of beef brown gravy in there. Boil up some egg noodles. The goulash, the steak will all just shred apart. We'll shred that steak apart. We'll mix everything together. We'll throw in a couple packets of brown gravy. And we'll serve it up with some noodles, on some noodles. And that's it, folks. It took us a couple minutes this morning. Put it all together. We put that like that, we go to work, and when we come back from work, this is all going to be ready for us. So, you know, a little bit of time last night, 45 minutes preparation to food on the table, 3 or 4 minutes in the morning, and you got your second meal. So, and this is going to be delicious. We'll serve it up later on tonight. All right? We'll see you guys in a little bit. Have a great day at work, and we'll talk to you soon. Take care.
Hey y'all, welcome back to the conclusion of the steak and goulash part 2. So we got up this morning, we were a little groggy. We got all of our ingredients in our crock pot. So we came home. First thing I did before I changed after work was I just got a pot of water boiling back here for the egg noodles. We're going to make some egg noodles. We're going to put the goulash on top of the egg noodles. So that's going. Went in the room, got changed, got comfortable, and now we're going to put the goulash together. So really simple preparation. You know, remember we did this morning. We got the crock pot out. We've got the steak in there. And oh my gosh, you should smell this kitchen. It smells so good. All those great, actually I'm going to use that. All those great mushrooms and onions and the steak in there. We're going to go ahead and pull this right out. So I've got one of those crock pots that's nice, good size, and easy to maneuver around here. There's some room to see this. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the juice, obviously, for the gravy. So go ahead and see if I can do this without spilling it all over the place. Just be careful you don't get burned. That hot steam coming off of there. Okay, pull that off. I'll go ahead and show you that. So you get a picture of that, Mama? See that? All that beautiful mushroom and steak is all in there. While that's going, I'm going to start a pan back here and put a little bit of olive oil in it. And then, you know, I don't like the garlic to sit in there all day because it becomes really garlicky. So one of the things that you can do is you can, you know, we're just going to throw a little bit of garlic in while this pan is getting hot. So the pan's getting hot over here, and I'm just going to chopped up a couple cloves of garlic, and I'm going to start those roasting. And you know, you got to be careful with your garlic. You don't want to burn it. It gets a little bit of a bitter taste to it. While that's heating up there, I'm going to just grab a couple forks and throw them in the crock pot, because you know that's what we do around here. And I'm just going to go ahead and start to, kind of like we did with the shepherd's pie. Those of you who were with me with the shepherd's pie episode, you'll remember we did the same. I mean, look at how beautiful that. Let's go ahead and just taste a little bit of that. Oh my gosh, tastes so good. That's that ribeye, if you remember, we made in the first episode. So now I'm going to go ahead and just shred all that up for our goulash. And I've got, you know, maybe 3 cups of liquid here, so I'm going to use, I'm going to go ahead and get this started. You can use, typically what I say is use 1 package of brown gravy for every cup of liquid you have, cup and a half. If you like it a little bit thinner, you don't have to use, you know, a packet per cup. I'm going to do that. I'm going to thin it out a little bit. I'm not going to make it as thick, like a really thick gravy you would have on there. Dial it up or dial it down. If you want it really rich and really thick as far as the gravy is concerned, put an extra package in there. So, you know, this is all about doing it to your taste. So I'm going to go ahead and get that, oh yeah, now that my garlic is all toasted up there, I'll go ahead and get that in there. And I'm just going to go on and open a couple of our local HEB brown gravy right there. And while that's going on, my water for my egg noodles has finally come to a boil. So I'm going to get that packet in there. I'm going to get this packet in there. And remember what the rule is on like our roux and our gravies. This is basically like a dry roux with some powder in it. You typically are going to do this with water, but now with the flavors we've got in there, it's going to be even better thickness-wise. The heat is what's going to thicken it. So we've got this going really good, heating up to get that thick. While that's going on, I've got my water here. Adding a little salt right before you drop noodles will, going the wrong way with that, will raise the temperature of the water. So if you just put a little salt in right before you drop your noodles, you're going to raise your temp up a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and open up my egg noodles and pour those in so that we can serve this up. Okay? And don't be afraid to use your same spoon that you're using to mix the gravy with that. And we're just going to let this kind of cook down a little bit and simmer. I'm going to keep stirring it. I don't want it to get too, I don't want it to get clumpy. So I'm stirring it to kind of break down that flour and let it all get thick. So I'm going to let this reduce a little bit. Once that's reduced and once my noodles have cooked in about 5 to 10 minutes here, I'm going to pull all that off. I'll come back and we'll put it all together and you'll see. So basically, from the time you get home to the time you're ready to serve, 15 minutes. Alright, see y'all in a few minutes. Okay, welcome back y'all. Alright, we've been going at this for about 5 minutes and that is nice and rich and thick. I got that tilted enough, can you see in there?
Yep.
Okay. So now I'm going to go ahead and just add that right back to my meat. And I'm just going to go ahead and stir that up. And you just, you want enough to saturate the meat so that it's coated and, you don't necessarily have to use all of it. Shoot, this is great gravy for another day. We can use that for something else. I'm going to get that shut off. But we're just going to go ahead and coat this and let those flavors just marry together for a few minutes. And then we're going to go ahead and plate it. So My noodles finished up about 5 to 7 minutes. Going to do it just a little bit al dente. I drained the pot, so I got rid of all the water. I'm going to go ahead and put some egg noodles on there for you. As you can tell, the double meal dad really loves his pasta, but egg noodles are a little bit better for you. You could use wheat pasta if you prefer. And now we're going to go ahead and we're just going to ladle that goulash, that steak goulash, right on top of there. Get myself a little bit of that juice and mix that right in there. When you're done with this, for leftovers, you can put it all in one container, the noodles and the goulash together. Put that in the refrigerator. Go ahead and just try a little bit of this. So, see how this came out. Y'all didn't see it this morning, but I did snuck a few hatch peppers in there before I left, so I got a nice little heat to it. Oh my gosh. And that doesn't taste, I mean, I know I'm eating ribeye, but it's a completely different flavor profile than the ribeye we made in part 1. I mean, that ribeye was delicious, steakhouse type ribeye. This is comfort food. This is noodles and meat and mushrooms and onions and a little bit of heat in there with the hatch peppers that I put in there. Some garlic, just really good flavor for it. So look, this is the whole concept of the double meal dad. I hope you're adventurous. I hope you try this. If you don't have ribeye laying around, you can do it with T-bone, you can do it with porterhouse. You can do this recipe with just about anything. So go out there, give it a shot, and write me a comment. Let me know how it came out. All right? Thanks for joining us. I hope you enjoyed the Double Meal Dad on steak and goulash, and we'll see y'all next time in the Double Meal Dad kitchen. Take care, y'all.